I just realized that I'm wearing the exact same outfit that I'm wearing in my channel avatar. I didn't plan this, honestly. There it is. Hey everybody, this is Eno and welcome to the Dynamic Prepper. Well, this is the video that many of you, and I would even probably say most of you, have been waiting for quite some time. This is the follow-up video to the big, huge, awesome, gnarly giveaway that I did back in December and ended in January. So for those of you who may be a little newer to the channel, back in December I launched a big, huge giveaway with well over, I don't know what, 1,500, 2,000, 3,000, tons of gear. And I did a giveaway where you, in order to enter, you had to ask a question. And then I attempted to answer each question in the comment section of the video. That entered you into the giveaway. And then from there, I picked sort of my favorite questions that I got answered, and then from that group, I randomly chose a winner who actually won that prize. So that process is all over now. The winner has been chosen, but we did finally pick a winner, and I totally forgot to write it down. Sorry. I forgot to write the guy's name down, but an actual real person did win. So, obviously, if you're watching this and you weren't chosen as a winner, you know it wasn't you. So, by process of elimination. All the stuff is in the process of being shipped out. It wound up being a lot more boxes than I had initially anticipated. So, it's kind of, you know, a lot of boxes going on. So we're getting all that wrapped up. We finally got our winner chosen. We finally got everything heading off to its lucky new owner. And I really want to thank everyone for participating in the giveaway. And it was really fun. It was a really great time. I answered as many questions as I possibly could, which wasn't even near all the questions that got answered. I think there were something like 1,500 or 1,700 or something like that. There's tons, thousands of questions were asked in the comment section. I answered as many as I possibly could. But I did pick some of my favorites, and I'm going to answer those for you right now. So, here we go. I wrote them all on note cards. Very high tech, right? And yes, I'm aware I have a computer behind me. So, okay. Okay, so as I mentioned before, I pulled a certain amount of questions, and I don't even know how many I picked, that many, of questions that were my favorite ones, and from that group was the winner. I also decided for this video that I'm going to answer a few extra questions. And these extra questions are going to be the most popular questions that I was actually asked in that giveaway. So there was, what I found out about 3 days into this thing is that there was a lot of people that were asking the same question. So I was getting the same questions, like this group of about 5 or 6 questions. I was getting them over and over and over and over and over. And of course, first couple times I answered them, but then after a while it just became, I can't answer this question anymore. I'm going to answer these because obviously a lot of people ask these same questions. A lot of people want to know the answer to them. So I thought, well, I'm going to make you happy here. So I took a couple of those and I'm going to answer them now. Okay, so these are most commonly asked questions on the giveaway video entry thing that I did. Okay, first one. How long have you been growing your beard? Or other such beard-related questions, like do you use stuff in your beard, and what do you do for beard care and all this kind of stuff. So I have not been clean-shaven since I was in high school, which is well over 23 years ago now. And since then, I've always been in some way, shape, length, or form of beard or facial hair. And I don't cut my beard or trim it or anything in the wintertime. I've been doing that for many years now. I pretty much just let it grow wild during the winter. And during the summer, I trim it back. It's just more comfortable for me that way. I don't get really huge into like beard care. That's like, dude, there's this whole industry of beard care that has like blown up over the last few years. I've kind of dabbled in it a little bit here and there. I do have some beard oils and a few things and stuff like that. I don't have special combs and stuff like that or anything. I do put beard oil in my beard every once in a while. It feels pretty good, you know, sometimes smells nice. But I don't get really big into that kind of stuff. I basically just, you know, comb it and, you know, make sure it looks like it's not all shoved off that way or something like that, and then pretty much just go about my day. To me, it's like the whole cool, weird continuum, right? So I didn't come up with this. This is not my invention. This is somebody else's. But cool and weird are right next to each other, but they're on a continuum. So that continuum is a circle. So if you're cool, you know, you can become weird, but you gotta go all the way around the circle, right? And again, if you're weird, you can become cool, but you gotta go all the way around the circle. But likewise, you can be cool, and then you can go all the way around the circle into weird. You know, so you can like, you know, you can play like football, that's cool, you know, and then you can be like a quarterback, that's cool too, you know, and then you can be like a popular quarterback and go to the NFL, and that's really cool. And then you can make a ton of money because you're on one of the best teams in the entire league, and you're like a dynasty, and then you're like, man, that is really cool, you know, and then you marry like a supermodel because that's really cool, right? And then like you start doing yoga, and then you're like eating vegan, and next thing you know, you're awkwardly mouth kissing your children. So like, you know, you've gone all the way around the continuum, and now you're weird. And for me, beard care is kind of the same way. Like, I don't want to shave. Like, that's my one side. I don't want to go all the way around the continuum to now I'm blow drying and doing all sorts of stuff to my beard. So I like to be right in the middle there. Just so it's cool, but I don't really do a lot with it. So question number 2 is, how many knives are too many? I don't agree with that statement. I don't think it's possible to have too many knives. I use the same equation for you know, bringing new knives into my collection as I do for bicycles. For those of you that don't know, I'm big into the bicycle thing. I owned a bicycle shop for many, many years, and I still work in the bicycle industry. The equation there is n plus 1. So n is the current number of knives or guns or bicycles that you own, plus 1 is how many you should have. So n plus 1. What is your favorite EDC knife? Wow, I don't really have a favorite EDC knife that I can think of. I have a whole bunch that I like for different reasons. Probably the one that I wind up carrying the most, the one that's most often in my pocket, is the Benchmade Griptilian. But lately I've been carrying the Spyderco, and I've been really liking that. So I've been carrying this for probably about 2 weeks now. And this is the one we got in Battle Box, like, what was it, a year and a half ago? A long time ago. But, you know, knives just work in and out of my rotation, you know, and I'll carry something for a while, and then I'll just change it up because, you know, I like to carry something different. So, why did you start prepping? Or how did you start prepping, or what got you into prepping, or something of that nature? That was a very common question that I got. That question was probably asked a few hundred times. You know, I came up in a family that was big into outdoor activities, and I was big into outdoor camping and hiking. And the other side of that is that I am really into history. I always have been. And I have a degree in history also. But when I was younger, I began doing something which is called primitive trekking. So for those of you that don't know, primitive trekking is hiking and camping, going out into the woods, but you wear time period appropriate clothing, and you only carry time period appropriate gear with you. And then you live, you hike and camp and live off the land the way someone of that particular whatever time period you're trying to shoot for would have done it. Okay, so it's sort of like reenacting in a way, but it's much more personal, and it's much more involved than that. It's much more immersive than that. You know, we would go out into the woods, and we would wear the same clothes, and we would, you know, paddle canoes out, and we would live off the land, and we would fashion our own tools, and we would sort of do all the primitive skills that these people would have had to have learned. Technically, I've never really stopped doing this. I just don't do it as much as I used to. This, of course, got me into bushcrafting and wood skills, woodsman skills, and things like that. And so that just kind of snowballed into getting into prepping and things like that. Of course, there were other things that were going on too. I've always been a very preparedness-minded person. You know, sort of all of these different things kind of coalesced together eventually into being a prepper. And I would say it was definitely an evolution, and it continues to be an evolution. Okay, next, this is again most common asked questions. Why did you start a YouTube channel? I've always said I didn't start a YouTube channel because I don't like talking. That's always been my little quirk. I've always been a pretty dedicated reviewer. When I first started out, of course, the name of the channel was Eno's Armory, and I was big into reviewing firearms and firearms gear and stuff like that. The very first video I think I ever made was the comparison video of the M&P9 versus the XDM9. I think that was the first video I ever did. And I just started kind of getting a following from there, and I did a lot of cleaning videos of different firearms that I had and things like that, and just, you know, would do reviews and just kind of went from there. Eventually I started branching off more and more into prepping, and that became sort of something that I like to do. And then, you know, lately I've been on a pretty big subscription box kick. So you never know, you know, just what the next evolution of the channel will be, I don't know. I'm definitely going to try to push it in a few new directions for this coming year, and we'll see where it goes. Alright, so I can tell that this video is already getting a little bit long, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and stop this one right here, and we're going to do a part 2. So this will be part 1, where I've answered the most popular questions that were posted in the giveaway. And in the part 2 video, I will go ahead and answer the questions that I had chosen as my favorite questions that were asked for the giveaway. So tune in for part 2.